Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi and welcome to MidWeek Magic, where I want you to grow your collection by winning 2 free rare or better ICRs each and every week. This week's MidWeek Magic is only Duskmourn constructed, which makes it the perfect time to talk about building decks with minimal resources. But before we get into all of that, this whole MidWeek Magic thing has become a bit of a tradition here at the Stronghold, and it all started with our crack team of researchers discovering that we were the only YouTube channel making consistent, proactive, and timely MidWeek Magic coverage. And here we are years later, and it appears that we're still the only ones out there doing it for the budget community. So be sure to subscribe to the Planeswalker Stronghold so that we can be here for you every chance we get. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the fact is we are all limited by something, and whether that limiting factor for you is free-to-play resources, cold hard cash, or just time, the fact is we're all constrained by something. We are all budget players. And from time to time, we just want to put together a fun deck using those limited resources and not breaking the bank. And while doing that can be a little bit of a unique challenge, it is certainly far from impossible. It really doesn't matter if you're watching this video because you're trying to get through an only style MidWeek Magic event, or perhaps you have discovered a set mid-season or post-season. One of the least taxing ways to create a fun deck from any set is by using the resources that you gathered through playing limited events like Draft and Jump In, and melding those into a fun, somewhat consistent even, constructed deck. The best results of these methods will often come from doing roughly 3 quick drafts or drafts in general that tend to play on the same archetypes or themes, then combining that somewhat large group of cards into a more refined constructed deck. However, if you are watching this because you're trying to get through that MidWeek Magic event and you are following the plan, you know, quick drafts haven't started yet, and premium drafts can be expensive, so that isn't always an option for us. Another option is to take a single draft event and an aligned jump-in play pack and combine those again into a more streamlined constructed deck. For those of us that have more established accounts and access to premium draft tokens that we bought at a discount, this can be a very good way of building a fun budget deck for these purposes. If you don't fit either of those, and I'm sure a lot of people won't, the focus of this video is actually going to be if you were to combine 3 aligned jump-in packs, things that reasonably overlap with a particular synergistic archetype and or colors. So far this season, I've put out 2 videos addressing the limited portion of the Duskmourn archetypes. The first discussing the jump-in packets that are available and which of those I think present the best value for your collection. And more recently, a video focused on the very best draft archetypes for us budget players. When we compare and contrast these 2 pools of data with the jump-in pack breakdown on the left-hand side of your screen and the draft archetypes on the right, we find that there are 3 easy overlaps here: the blue-green manifest, the red-black sacrifice, and the green-white survival. And when we look at the monocolor jump-in packs, Eerie overlaps as blue with 2 of these different decks. Teeny and Life, representing white and black, give us 3 each. And of course, Summon, the mono green deck, lines up with no less than 4 of the 7 possible archetypes. So some very easy pathways here to collect cards and make playable decks. And as you're putting together your deck for this Midweek Magic event, don't forget you may actually have more cards than you think you do. For those that have been around for a while, Leyline of the Void is actually a reprint on Arena, so some of us have a few of those in our collection. Similarly, with low rarity reprints, things like Murder and Terramorphic Expanse make easy additions for many of these decks. Ethereal Armor and Scorching Dragonfire are maybe a little harder press. Murder, of course, comes with all of the starter sets, but you may still have some of those hanging around and help you fill out those last couple slots in your deck. So I guess the question remains, what will I be playing in this particular Midweek Magic event? And of course, that is a threefold answer. For the most recent 2025 account, I got very lucky with my early jump-in picks and got an alignment of colors through Manifest, Eerie, and Summoned. So I will be playing those pretty much as presented in the jump-in packs, just all shuffled together into one deck. For last year's 2024 account, I got a similar lucky early pull with the Black-Red Sacrifice and 2 separate copies of the Mono Red Delirium deck. So I think we're going to put something together there, more than likely leaning on some of those reprints like additional copies of Murder and of course the Terramorphic Expanse to help with the Delirium aspects. Let's see how good we can make this deck using essentially just jump-in materials and recycled reprints. I should also say that the plan for the 2024 account is somewhat subject to change, as I do plan to do a premiere draft before the Midweek Magic event, and that might change things up a little bit or simply improve upon the preliminary archetype plan. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Now, when it comes to my Premier account, my primary account, I actually was able to draft nearly all of the good and bad jump-in packs. The one exception to that being, I don't think I ever got a copy of the Manifest pack. So I have a lot of options there early on, and I also plan on doing a Premier draft here prior to the event also. So there's a lot up in the air, and I'm not entirely sure what I might be doing on the primary account, but you do have the opportunity to make sure you tune in at 5 p.m. on Tuesday Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube, where I will be playing probably all 3 accounts, time allowing, and showing you exactly how these various forms of decks do. Alright, so I know that's more of a concept of a plan than really a fully fleshed out formulated plan, but it's what I've got at the time of recording, and as I said, you can always tune into that live stream here on YouTube to see how it works out. But in addition, I want to know how you tackled this event. What worked for you? Did these decks work as well as you'd hoped? Whatever your observations may be, because those observations are very likely to help someone else get through the event or start putting together a low resource late season, postseason deck here for Duskmourn. And hey, just in case you didn't catch all that, Matt would like you to know that the deck list that we discussed in this video is going to have a link down in the doobly-doo to take you over to Aetherhub, along with a link to any other alternative lists that you might wish to consider. He only asks that you give it a little thumbs up when you're over there checking out the deck list. And I plan on live playing this event on Wednesday at 11 a.m. over on my Twitch channel, so definitely stop in and check it out. Because the Stronghold is so much more than just a YouTube channel, and you can find links to all of our other social media outlets in our profile. Because at the end of the day, we're all budget players. And as a community, we're stronger together. So like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all those things to show a little love. It's appreciated more than you know.